Have you ever felt gloomy on a rainy day or unusually happy on a sunny day? Do you find you have less motivation on those cold winter days, or you are more energized in those warm days of summer? Well, you are not alone, for science backs this weird phenomenon up.
Wow.
To understand how weather shapes our mood, we look at sunlight and serotonin levels, the emotional reactions to temperature changes, and the effects of pressure changes in the atmosphere on the body. Along with my own experiences from weather changes, I have gathered information from reputable sources such as Harvard University and well-known organizations such as Mayo Health Clinic to ensure that all of my facts are accurate and trustworthy. So let's dive in and learn about how our mood is changed by sunlight and serotonin, temperature changes, and then finally how changes in the pressure in the atmosphere affect the body.
Yeah, I'm excited.
First, to understand how weather shapes our mood, we look at sunlight and serotonin levels. Sunlight makes us happy, but how exactly does this big ball of gas in the sky make us happy? Well, sun rays trigger a neurotransmitter to be released called serotonin. This neurotransmitter is a feel-good hormone and boosts mood, helps to regulate the body's emotions, and promotes feelings of well-being. So how does this work? Well, sunlight enters the eyes and stimulates the retina, which signals the brain to produce serotonin. And too much or too little of these neurotransmitters make us feel bad. So as we see here, this is the serotonin levels in relation to the time and months, and then we see that the hottest months and the sunniest months of the year are when the serotonin levels are highest. Next, let's talk about seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal affective disorder is a real medical condition that is actually a form of depression linked to the changes in the seasons. The most common type of SAD occurs in the winter and improves by spring. People with SAD not only experience feelings of sadness, but also symptoms like fatigue, sleep changes, withdrawal from others, weight gain, and aches and pains. It relates to your circadian rhythm, which is basically your internal clock. So light from the sun tells your internal clock to be awake, and darkness tells your brain to rest. So when it's dark, the pineal gland produces melatonin, and so with no light on those gloomier days, the body is cooled down and melatonin is produced, making us tired. So to summarize my first main point, sunlight plays a significant role in our mood by producing serotonin that makes us happy and telling our brains to stay awake.
Woo!
Next, to understand how weather shapes our mood, we look at emotional reactions to temperature changes. So heat leads to irritability, restlessness, and impulsiveness. So when temperatures rise, the body has to work harder to cool itself down, putting stress on your system and your brain. And heat reduces serotonin, actually, which leads to more frustration. So we can see this with the increase of accidents during the summer months because people have more road rage because they're more irritable because of the heat. Heat also impairs function and focus. People have more trouble concentrating and process information more slowly. We can see this according to the Harvard scholar in his study Temperatures, Test Scores, and Human Capital, published on February 26, 2017. And we see that taking an exam on a 90-degree Fahrenheit day versus a 72-degree Fahrenheit day increases the likelihood of failing the exam by 12.3%, and a 2.5% lower likelihood of high school graduation.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. So to summarize my second main point, the increase in temperature can lead to emotional reactions such as irritability and restlessness, and also affect well-being, such as increased risk of road rage and academic failure. Finally, to understand how weather shapes our mood, we learn about the effects of pressure changes in the atmosphere on the body. Barometric pressure, also known as atmospheric pressure, is the weight of the air pressing down on the earth. So high pressure correlates to clear, calm weather, and then low pressure correlates to clouds and rain. So we see here in my graph that when there is the red, low pressure, there's a lower chance of aches and pains in the body, and then the higher pressure you have is the green, and that contributes to the high aching in your body. So atmospheric also has physiological effects on the body. So we can see that barometric pressure triggers joint pain, headaches, and also sinus issues. The cold weather causes the joints in your body to thicken, and that's what causes the pain. And also when the atmospheric pressure changes, that causes headaches because the way the pain in the brain is blocked. Higher pressure also leads to increased risk of blood clots, and for every 1 degree the temperature drops, there are 200 more heart attacks nationwide. So to summarize my third point, the pressure changes the atmosphere have both psychological and physical effects on the mind and body.
Wow. Phenomenal.
To conclude, we see that weather plays a huge role in shaping our mood. As I talked about, the sunlight and serotonin levels, the emotional reactions to temperature changes, and the effects of pressure changes in the atmosphere on the body. Understanding all of this helps us become more aware of our own emotions and reactions. While we cannot change the weather, we now know how to prepare for our changing moods. As Anthony D'Angelo says, wherever you go, no matter the weather, always bring your own sunshine.
Wow.